Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another DJ Chit Chat. I am Basil Barrington. So, what do I want to talk about today? What I want to talk about today is this here. So, a lot of times I will search YouTube to find out what is the best way to upload a DJ set onto YouTube. And I've seen a lot of DJs, I would say like a lot of videos, a lot of DJs, maybe, I don't know, maybe 40, 50 DJs, post videos about this. Obviously, I haven't seen them all, right? But I've seen about 40 or 50 post videos about the best way to post DJ sets on YouTube. And there is a similarity. They all say the same thing in terms of how to post DJ sets to YouTube. And that's because, YouTube has a proprietary content ID when it comes to music, audio files, right? So, what all of these content creators say is you put your set together basically. You have your playlist, you have your crate list, your playlist, right? And you're like, okay, I have 20 or 30 tracks. This is going to be a 2 hour set, a 3 hour set. Okay, so I now know I have this set that I want to perform and post up on YouTube. But before I do that, I want to find out if there are any tracks, and this is what they say, if there are any tracks that YouTube will possibly ding me for. So a copyright claim or a copyright strike. Really, you're looking for copyright strikes and things and tracks that are blocked, using the YouTube content ID. So what they do is they take that 3 hour set, let's just call it a 3 hour set. They take that 3 hour set, they shrink it down to 30 minutes. And how they do that is they use programs like Audacity or any DAW, and they just basically, drag these tracks into the DAW, line them up, excuse me. So you're basically playing about like a minute or two of each track, line them up, and then you render that, you download that as an audio file, right? So you have that. So now that you've done that sort of work, so now you said you got your crate together, right? And now what you did was you actually took those tracks, put them into a different program to shorten the DJ set to like maybe 20 or 30 minutes. You downloaded that, you rendered that, right? Now you have to go over to YouTube. hmm you have to go over to YouTube. And then what they generally say, these content creators, is create a ghost YouTube channel, right? So you basically just have, a ghost channel. Maybe you follow things, this, that, and the other. Maybe you use it to be messy. I don't know, right? But a lot of these DJs say, hey, you create a ghost YouTube channel and then you upload that mini DJ set to your ghost channel. And then you wait. hmm You wait for YouTube to come back and let you know what sort of copyright information that they came back with when they're using their proprietary content ID scan. Now, remember, the YouTube content ID scan, when it comes to music, it's scanning audio. So it scans the audio first. And then you would have to imagine that while after they've scanned the audio, they are matching it with metadata, artist name, artist title, label, this, that, and the other distributor. So, I don't think that it's just a pure audio scan. And then they say, hey, based on this information we have in our database, we think that, or we know that this is, there's a block on this, worldwide, yada, yada, yada. And so now you've gotten that result or that report back from YouTube, and they said, hey, you have 5 tracks that are like, blocked. Now you got to go back, remove those, add another 5, and then you got to go through all that again. And so I was thinking to myself, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's goofy. And I don't do goofy things. I said, that's goofy. Now, let me give you some background first, really quickly, before I tell you the better solution. I've created a better solution in terms of trying to find out, if tracks you're trying to use in a DJ set that you would like to post to YouTube have any sort of like copyright strikes, blocks, or anything like that. I created a better solution, not the best, a better solution. First of all, let me tell you, I am a web developer. That's my day gig. I've been doing that for like over 20 years. Actually longer than that. I came up in a dot-com boom, right? So I came up in a space where as a web developer, we actually created and developed design websites from the ground up. We coded. Like back in the day, the dot-com boom, you were coding. You know what I'm saying? So we were coding websites, and it took a really long time. And today you have like AI, and you have like vibe coding, and you can, create these sort of like boring, web apps or things of that nature in like a few minutes, right? And I just thought to myself, I was like, well, no, because I come from a different like space, a different era when it comes to, me being a web developer. So I like to sort of look at things, suss it out, workshop it, and say, okay, this is the proper way of doing it. So the platform, or actually the utility I created, is called Crate Checkers, right? Scan your DJ playlist before hitting upload. What does this do, right? So what Crate Checker does is, opposed to you uploading audio, right? All you're doing is you're downloading your playlist as a file, right? So maybe a CSV file, a text file, an XML file. Tractor has its own like a interesting sort of like file extension. I think it's MML or something like that. Any of them. And as you can see here, this works with any sort of file download when it comes to DJ softwares, Rekordbox, Serato, DJ Pro, Tractor, Engine DJ, and Virtual DJ. So this is a product that is $4.99 a month, and I think that's a very cool sort of price point there. But basically, what this is I'm just going to read it here. It says, Crate Checker, audit your DJ playlist metadata against global music registries in distributors' databases. That's it, right? So, if you're talking about like United Masters, TuneCore, like DistroKid, those are like, sort of the independent, like, sort of digital distributors, right? And it evaluates copyright enforcement patterns because it's all in the metadata. You know what I'm saying? So all this stuff is in the metadata. Again, YouTube's Content ID scans actual audio waveforms. And this app doesn't do that. It takes your text file, your CSV file, your XML file that you've downloaded from your DJ software, and now you have the ability to upload this. It gives you 3 verdicts. It gives you global block risk, monetized claim, which basically is, you can still play the track, but, you're either going to share the revenue or the revenue is going to go to the artist. And then you have the low enforcement risk. This is a lot of independent stuff that really hasn't been registered globally, but it's still out there, like on these different sort of platforms like, Spotify and things of that nature, right? A global block basically means that you're either going to get this track may get blocked, or this track even has the ability to give you a copyright claim. So a global block risk, if you ever see that when you run this scan, then you want to get rid of that track. You don't want to play that. You don't want to take any chances. Here, you have the ability to try a demo scan. So I have 2 types of scans here. I have peak hour commercial set, and I also have a tech house and indie release set. Let's go to the peak hour set first. That's the scan there. And so this is 10 tracks. And so with these 10 tracks, it's basically telling you that 5 are global block risk, 3 are monetized claim, and 2 are clean low risk. And this is the sort of, outlook, or I should say output you get. Now from here, once you run your scan, you can actually download the scan as a PDF. As you can see there, I'm just going to save it as a PDF as well. And then if I just open it up here, so you should be able to see it here. So there is the PDF that I just downloaded. It gave me all the information that I just scanned. You can also like download this as a CSV file as well. Let's go back over to the actual software. Okay, so now that I'm here, I've done that. I'm going to clear the scan. Now here's another scan up here. This is a tech house scan. This is also 10 tracks. And it's going to scan and it's going to tell you that there are no global risk here, but there are 6 tracks here that have a monetized claim, and then there are 4 that are low risk. What would you rather do? Would you rather say, hey, you know what? You've put your like track list together. You have about 20, 30 tracks. Now you took that You sort of created a shortened version of your DJ set. You brought it into Audacity, whatever. Then you downloaded that. Then you uploaded it to your Ghost YouTube channel. Then you waited until YouTube's Content ID finished scanning your audio waveform. That's all you're doing right there, right? You're doing all of that just to post your 1 or 2 hour set up on YouTube, not even knowing, what's going on, but you may know what's going on. But then if you do your scan through your Ghost channel and it comes back, you're like, oh, okay, I got to remove 5 tracks. Why not just use a text file or XML file or a CSV file, a CVS or CSV file, I should say, right? And do it that way. Okay, so I have an account here, so let's log in. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go already. So I'm going to scroll down here, already a subscriber. I'm going to put in my info here at, and now I am in. I am logged in. You can also come over here and manage your account here. So if you wanted to manage your account, like let's just say if you wanted to cancel your account, you could. Not a problem at all. Again, this is $4.99, right? So we are logged in now. And what I am going to do is I am going to upload a playlist that I created. So I am going to go here. And I think it's here. Let me just go here, go deep here. And so that is what I uploaded. Now, this is a playlist of 29 tracks. Now, this is how I would do it. This is how I like to use this here, and I've been using it. So I like to sort of put a crate together, right? Once I put a crate together, it has more than enough tracks I need, but it has everything, every track that's in that playlist I would conceivably use, right? So what I like to do is I like to upload 30 or 40 tracks. And then once my application does a scan and figures out what's clean, what's not clean, then I can just go in and I can say, oh, okay, looks like, there are, according to this here, 3 global block tracks. I just won't even play those tracks. So now I don't have to go back to Audacity, do another short mix, upload it back to, my Ghost YouTube channel. I already know what's going on. I already know from here. I'm just like, okay, I'm not even going to deal with this track here because it has a global block risk. Now that I have that, I can download it as a CSV. I can download it as a PDF. This application is kind of cool. This utility is cool because what it does is it sort of alleviates the sort of time we as DJs take to try to put our DJ sets up on YouTube because we're going through like the Ghost channel and we're doing this short DJ set and we're rendering it like from a DAW, from like Audacity or GarageBand. Then we're taking that and then we're uploading it to a Ghost channel and then we're waiting. And then once there are some red flags, then we go do another set. We go through the whole process again, right? And again, like I said, you have 20 tracks you want to burn up, in terms of like your DJ set. Why not add an additional 10 or 15 to that playlist, to that crate? Scan that, and then you know what to remove. And then you can just go ahead and like hit record and start recording. So this is a very useful tool. So I'm hoping that people understand how useful this tool is. Now, one thing you have to realize is this here. This is not the YouTube Content ID scan. This is not. Keep that in mind. This does not work the same exact way as the YouTube Content ID because I do not scan audio WAV files. I don't scan audio WAV files. This is version 1 though. That's the other cool thing, right? This is version 1. I already know what version 2 and version 3 is going to look like, right? So I just wanted to come on and say that, hey, you know what? I actually found, when you work in technology, definitely in web development space, right? Whenever there is a problem, you create a solution for it. Great technology companies are great because they've created solutions to problems. We have a problem when it comes to DJs trying to post DJ sets on YouTube. The problem is the Content ID. I created a solution. right? Again, is it the YouTube's content ID? No, but it's pretty darn close to it. And this is just version 1. So I am very happy that I created this app here. This is only $4.99 a month. You can cancel anytime, and I wanted to keep it at $4.99 because I want it to be the price of a cup of coffee. That's it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, again, this is not something I totally, built from the ground up, coding everything. I did do some coding, but this wasn't really crazy coding, right? So I was like, well, I don't need to like hit people upside the head with like $19.99, $29.99, $149. I'm like, no, just $4.99 a month. You can go and check this out, pay your $4.99. If you don't like it, then all you did was spent, $4.99, a cup of coffee, but not really a cup of coffee because I've noticed that a medium cup of coffee is almost $6. It's almost $6 now here in the DMV. So, it is the price of a small cup of coffee and maybe a medium cup of coffee at some of your cool mom and pop coffee shops. But it's just $4.99. And when I do update the versions, because again, I already know what sort of like version 2, what sort of features I want to add to version 2, it's still going to be $4.99. This is, I would have loved to have released this for free to the community, but, I did put some blood, sweat, and tears into this, and I do want to make a little scratch on the side. So $4.99, subscribe, cancel anytime. That's monthly, $4.99 a month, $4.99 a cup of coffee. So, did I create the best way to post DJ sets to YouTube? No. I created a better way to post DJ sets to YouTube, and it is Crate Checker. Go check it out. Well, there you have it. Go check out cratechecker.com, cratechecker.com. Again, it's $4.99. It's a very cool utility, and it's going to help DJs who post a lot of DJ sets on YouTube. So go check it out. Well, there you have it. Until next time, peace.